Golf Podcast, presented by Golficity, where we bring you the tips, instruction, and support you need to get the most out of your golf game. And now your hosts, Frank and Mike.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Golf Podcast. This episode, Mike and I are going to talk about our round at TPC River Highlands 2 weeks ago. The Travelers is going to be kicking off there this week. We had a chance to speak with course GM David Carrado about the course and the upcoming tournament. Mike, what a great test it was, getting out there, trying the course before guys like Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, Jason Day, Bubba Watson, all the biggest names in golf are going to be there, this week for the Travelers. Plus we had some fun, exciting things on the horizon at Golficity.com. We've got the new Golficity vlog on YouTube, which if you haven't subscribed to that, definitely check that out. And of course, big things going on at the podcast. And speaking of which, please, if you can, subscribe on YouTube, leave us a quick review. It's the best way for you to help us grow the podcast. But before I bring Mike in on the show, I just want to talk about tonight's sponsor, Bear Mattress. So, okay, listen up. It's time to consider a new mattress. Bear Mattress is designed for optimal cooling, recovery, and pain relief so you can sleep better and perform at your best every day. Are you the type that knows you need a new mattress, but you just never pull that trigger on buying one because they're so darn expensive? $3,000-$4,000 if you want top of the line. Well, with Bear, you get an eco-friendly, comfortable mattress with supportive sleep that's up to 7 times cooler than traditional foam. And here's the kicker. You won't pay over $1,000 for any size.
Yeah, that's a killer deal, Frank. And I love how Bear mattresses are made right here in the USA. They're sold online and shipped free right to your door. So listen, take a chance on these guys. You have nothing to lose. They're going to give you a 100-night in-home trial. And if you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you 100% of your money. These guys were just named the best mattress for cool sleep by Men's Journal. So check them out. Go to www.bearmattress.com. That's BEAR mattress.com today and use the promo code, one word, Golf Podcast for $50 off your purchase. That's bearmattress.com.
Okay, Mike. So I was checking out the Facebook group today. I noticed we did our second Atlas Premier giveaway, in the podcast group. The prize, if you haven't heard about it, it's talking about it already in the group. It includes an Atlas, Premier Strike Polo, a Prime golf hat, and a 2-piece magnetic ball marker. It's a total value over $130. We're giving that away every single week. And thanks to our friends at Atlas Premier, we're going to be giving that prize pack away again next week. And like I said, every week for the next 10 weeks. And all you have to do to enter is join our free Facebook group, which you can find on Facebook by just searching the Golf Podcast under groups. Mike, I've worn so many different golf apparel threads and very few of them get even close to living up to the quality that Atlas brings to the table.
Yeah, Frank, I cannot wait to wear mine Friday during our round together. I'm impressed with what Atlas Premier is doing. These guys have created a new clothing brand that brings excitement and performance into the forefront of golf. This season, you need to step up your golf apparel game, toss out the stained polos and the khaki pants, and dress better and feel better on the course. Be a part of this exploding story. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Atlas_Premier, or check them out at atlaspremier.com. That's atlaspremier.com.
Yeah, it's so cool too, Mike, when we get, guys like that just give back in these huge prize packs every week. So remember, get in that Facebook group. It's the best way to keep talking about this stuff here and to be part of these giveaways that we're constantly doing. Speaking of which, I also want everybody in the group to give us a little bit of feedback, because in 2 episodes from now, we're going to be doing our 3 club challenge. We're actually getting out there and we're going to play it this week, weather permitting, if it holds up. We're going to put a whole video of it on the new vlog, which again, you got to check out. Just go to YouTube, search Golficity, and then just subscribe there. But we're going to do it. We've heard people talking about it before. We're going to pick 3 clubs from our bag, just 3. That includes putter if you want it. I'm going to leave putter in my bag. I won't say too much yet, but we're going to do 3 clubs. Me and you playing 9 holes. We're going to see how it goes. I want to hear you guys try it. I know a couple people in the group have. You've been mentioning it, but post in the group. Let us know what clubs you would use if you're eliminated to just 3. And I think this is one of the coolest ways to discover more about your game, because you learn a whole lot about, different types of shot making when you were limited that much in a decision standpoint. And you really have to think about your shots. So, Mike, I can't wait for this one. I'm itching to get out there.
Yeah, I'm itching because I'm curious in how I'm going to shoot. I'm actually thinking I may put together a good round. I mean, I'm going out there with my three most trusted clubs.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to tell you what they are. Like you, I want to keep it a surprise. So I will keep that secret, but let me tell you, I'm excited for this. I think this is going to be very interesting. I have this whole strategy and game plan, with certain yardages of holes and how to play it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it really does force you to do that mental game strategy that we talk about. Whereas before, or I should say, when you're out there playing 14 clubs, it's so easy to go on autopilot, right? And you're just like, okay, this par 400 yards, here's my driver, or whatever it may be. And not like kind of looking at the hole and setting up a good strategy. But this kind of forces you because you got to play it smart. You got to think, well, what am I going to do here? So this is going to be really fun. I think it's going to be a little odd putting with something other than your putter. That's
right.
where like kind of the quirky fun comes into it. But, just that limiting factor is going to be interesting. So I definitely want to hear what everybody's take is. Join the group. It's a free group, and I know we keep talking about it here, but it's an exciting, fun way to keep the conversation going in between episodes.
Yeah. Frank, I want to ask you something real quick. If you do end up, because we're just playing 9 to do this, we can't do this full 18 because it'd be kind of brutal. But if you finish 9 and you fire like a 34, 35, do you do another loop or what?
Oh, I know, right? And do another loop? Do you throw the rest of the clubs in and try to shoot your best round ever? That's
no, you stick with those 3. I'm telling you, man. This could be great or terrible. We'll see what happens.
It really could. I think no matter what, you come out of this experience learning a whole lot about your game.
Big time.
Yeah. So we'll decompress the whole thing. We're going to do an entire episode on it about how we turned out, how it went, 2 weeks from now. But like I said, you want to see more about it. Definitely follow Golficity on Instagram, because I'm sure we'll be, posting some stuff in our story while we're actually out there. You'll get a sneak peek, but then check it out on YouTube. And for anybody who's doesn't see us on YouTube, we try to make sure to post those videos in the Facebook group as well. So be there and you can check that out. Okay. Just switching gears real quick. Let's talk a little bit about TPC River Highlands, because this is awesome. Okay. This was another one of those great, really, really cool experiences. It's a course that's not too far from us. It would take us like 2 hours to get there.
2 hours. Yeah.
About 2 hour drive. Right. But really cool. They invited us to come out, and play the course, ahead of the travelers, and really cool. We were there just in time. We got, the grandstands are set up. The umbrella was out there.
Right.
If you're going to watch it this week, for sure, take a look for that. They had the umbrella shot. And it was just a great experience. So cool and I can't thank them enough for having us out there, but so cool to get to play a track that's truly ready for a PGA Tour event and in PGA Tour conditions. I mean, meticulous. Yeah. I mean, even some of the quote unquote better courses I've played just on a day-to-day thing, the more expensive courses, like the really nice ones, sure, great shape. But when they're getting ready for a tour event, there's no stone left unturned. I mean, the place was just perfect. And although it was quick, not too quick because it rained. If you watch the video, and like I said, we did a whole video on this, which you can see on the vlog as well. If you watch the video, you notice it was raining on and off, which slowed the greens down a little bit. But even with the greens that fast, I was still putting well, because truthfully, I will take a quick green as long as it's a true green. When it's in that perfect a shape and it's rolled just right, you can trust the read that you're getting. Sure, you got to get a little bit used to the speed, but once you get used to that speed, you can kind of trust that read. And I hit a lot of putts that day for that reason. I mean, I really felt good about it and be able to commit to it, not worrying about it, the ball like bouncing around or something silly. So it was really cool to do that. Plus the softness of the greens, man, that was money. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I could hold them. We were coming at them. We had that one, I can't forget that one hole where we both hit that 7-iron. We were like 168 out, right?
I'm thinking about the same one. You just took the words.
Oh man, that was something. You hit it first and I'm like, look at that thing. It's tracking right towards the pin. It was within, what was it? I don't know, 10 feet of the pin.
Yeah.
Right? Downhill, beautiful hole. And then I just happened to be laying right next to you. I pull out my 7-iron and the balls were almost like touching.
Yeah.
They followed the exact same path. I mean, we were just like high five, like, man, we look like golfers today.
Yeah, man, that was a great hole. And it was impressive for you to complete the birdie there. And I parted. But you know what, dude? You were on fire.
I had a great
especially on that back nine. Unbelievable. That was some of the greatest golf I've witnessed, playing with.
I appreciate that. I literally, that was my best round of the season so far. Even for a testy track like that, on and off in the rain, I think I shot an 83. And for me, going into it, a completely unknown track, those conditions, that's excellent. I'll take that all day long. So, and even everything was working. Like, when we talk about confidence, when you're confident, everything was working for me. When I had even my sand game, that's like my worst part of my game.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really happy too, because on what was it? 17, that par 3 over the water, I push it a little bit left, put it in the bunker. And then we got, the GM David watching us, cause we're going to go do an interview with him as soon as we're done. And
right.
I just hit it from that bunker and then just rolled it up tight to the pin for that tap in par. Man, that felt good. Those are the shots you remember.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you had a lot of incredible shots that were impressive. I mean, I birdied 18 from a chip in, but after probably going on a string of double bogeys. But, I think one of the coolest holes that we played was, maybe it was 10. I'm not sure it was 10 or 11. It was the tree hole where the tree was right in the middle.
That's on the vlog too. You see us both tee off on that.
Yeah. So when you watch the video, this is the one where I get so angry and take my glove off and throw it down on the ground because, the tree got in my head. This tree is dead center of the fairway. Watch it this week on the Travelers Championship. I think it's the 10th hole, right, Frank?
I think it was. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just right in the middle, but there's nothing else around it. And, talk about, mental game. I mean, that's just right in your head. I mean, you had a really good shot. I just ended up doing one of my slices and I pushed it into someone's backyard. But
yeah, that was one of those shots for me. I couldn't have drawn it up any better. It just worked perfectly because you're right. That was one intimidating tee shot because the tree, it's no small tree, really tall. You can't hit over it. At least I can't. I mean, that thing was way, way up. And being in the middle of the fairway, and then there was a tree line on the right, all it gave you was that little narrow corridor to shoot through. And I just hit it, a little bit right of the tree with a draw and it came right down to that fairway. But man, intimidating. I love that. I love, getting in the mind of the course designer and just this idea of like leaving a tree right there to force you to think about your shot there and what you're going to do and hit a good shot shape. Cause you could hit it short and you'd be fine. Or you could try to whatever, but we just had to go at it, man. That was
and
fun.
It's tight. It's tight too. I mean, these guys, I want to see how the pros play this one because it's a tight little narrow fairway. I mean, you'll see it. But it was great. Right after that hole, we hit that par 3 and we both put it on and we both had, I think we had par putts, I think for the most part. Yep. I think we made par. Then we moved on to the Streelman, which is pretty interesting. So what year was this? Was this last year or 2 years ago? It might've been last year.
I'd have to Google it to remind me, but there was a plaque out there just, right on the hole that could kind of remind you where he started.
Right. So this is the year that Kevin Streelman won the Travelers Championship and he birdied out from 12 on.
Yeah. PGA Tour record.
PGA Tour record. It was impressive because that closing stretch is no walk in the park.
No way.
Right.
Yeah. And if you watch it on TV this week, you'll see. And actually, I'm just harkening back. I remember I misspoke there. I forgot about the way 18 was. It was actually 16 was the par 3 where I hit out of that. So it was 16 and then those gorgeous holes that wrap around that middle like lake. And that's where they put the umbrella. But yeah, I mean, other than that, what would you say was your favorite part of the day?
Well, the drivable par 4 was fun because that's something I've watched on, the tour over the last few years of watching these guys.
Yep.
It's one of the most, famous drivable par 4s, and these guys like to unleash it.
And that was 15, actually came up right 15.
That was 15. Yep. I came about 5 feet short of the green, had a bad chip shot, and ended up making par. It should have been a 3, but that was great. I love what they're doing as a private club. I mean, it's got so much history there. When you walk in that locker room, you see all the plaques of the winners because it is a PGA Tour course, which is cool in itself, but they're knocking down the clubhouse, and I love the vision they're bringing to making the place more modern. So I'm totally for joining this place. If I lived in that area and I was looking at a private club, this would be the type of club that I would join for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we'll roll the interview with David in a second. And one thing that he says that kind of makes it like a no-brainer was was not only the track being gorgeous, but if you have the means to join there, it's incredibly quiet. We felt like we had the course to ourselves. You know, there was like almost nobody out there, but also because it's a TPC course, you get privileged to play on the other TPC courses around the country. So that's something you don't necessarily get at a private membership somewhere else. So that was really cool. But yeah, gorgeous. It was worth the long drive each way. The nitro, cold brews. I know you're like your new thing. Those are the like,
I'm gonna go broke because of those. Seriously.
Yeah, because after a long day out there in the sun, recording the podcast, stuff like that, and then driving that long haul back, but it was worth every minute of it. And then the other thing that I want to mention, because it was too funny, I'm still cracking up about it. You're so committed to your diet. You did. This guy did something out there that I've never seen anyone do before. We got to probably like the 7th or 8th hole. And, you know, normally people, you know, pull out like a granola bar. I think I had a Cliff bar or something like that I pulled out. And then I look over at Mike and he's sitting next to me in the cart. He's got a Tupperware, like a big square Tupperware of just loaded with just grilled chicken and egg whites. And he's got a fork and just going out. I'm like, first of all, I don't know where you pulled that out of. That seemed to come out of nowhere. And then he's up on the tee box just trying to get this thing. I'm like, this guy's committed to his protein routine.
Well, let me just say that had to be made fresh that morning. And we met up at like 10 to 6 a.m. So I was up an extra half hour earlier making that. I mean, I know you don't feel bad because you were up probably even earlier than that, driving all the way down here. But, you know, I need that energy on the course. That's my diet. Like I lost 21 pounds in the last 3 months.
That's awesome.
You know, just intense training and just eating really clean, really got that stamina both in golf, just like shooting hoops out on the driveway, working out. I mean, just lifestyle, Frank. I just feel good. Now I'm chasing around 2 kids. You're about to chase around 2 kids. Well, maybe not the newborn, but, you know, the energy level is good and it has transitioned out on the course. I mean, I've noticed my stamina out there getting really, really good. So I don't want to go off on that fitness tangent, but yes, you're right. I do pack those kinds of odd lunches, but hey, it's better than what most guys eat out there, right?
It's just so funny because I mean, I'm the opposite in that way. Like I'll try to do a good diet and it'll be days like that I'll be like, forget it. You know, I'm getting up at 4:15. I got up at 4:15 that day. I'm on the road, you know, at like 4:45, right? There's no way that if there's ever going to be a day that I'm going to stop and get like fast food junk, it's that day. And in fact, that's what I did. First thing I did is I drove directly to the gas station and just got, you know, an iced coffee and one of those like pre-ready-made disgusting egg sandwiches.
There you go.
Just threw that in my face.
But it worked for you.
I guess it worked for me. Probably catch up with me later. But meanwhile, like if there's ever a time you're going to break your diet, but you're so deep into this thing at this point, but I don't know. I think I may have to get some pointers from you on that diet because it's working.
All discipline, Frank. I mean, I have to make my daughter ice cream every night, and I don't even lick the spoon when I'm done. You can't do it. You know, that's how focused I am. But we'll see. That always usually goes downhill in the fall and the winter anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, all right. One other thing I want to talk about before we shoot over to our interview with David. One of the best parts of the day, how cool was taking that umbrella shot?
That was fun. And that's in the video, which was great.
That's definitely in the video. And anybody who watches the Travelers knows that they always love to get a million cut shots of this thing, but they out in the middle of that little lake that surrounds the final 4 holes or the final 4 holes play around it. They have for the Travelers, they put their umbrella out there. And, one really cool thing that we talked about in the last episode, or maybe it was 2 episodes ago, in order to kind of up our video game for these vlogs, we bought a drone. And so we're going out there, we're flying this thing and we're going right over it and flying way up high to see that overhead shot. And it's just so cool. So it's basically this floating, I mean, it's got to be, what would you say? Maybe 20 feet wide at the top. So a little thing, but you know, and it's floating and then they cover it with like a red carpet and they put a pin in it. And, you know, right before you get to that 16th hole, they call it, what was it? 15 and a half, right?
15 and a half,
86 and a half,
yards,
86, right? Yeah, 86 yard par 1. So we both take a crack at it. And that was so cool. So, I mean, you want to tell a little bit of the story?
No, I don't want to give it away, but I'm just going to tease everyone because I want you to watch the video. One of us hits it and one of us comes up way short.
But here's the problem. I don't know if the video, because it was cutting pretty quick, I don't know if the video showed hitting it.
But you could tell which one it is.
I think you can tell from the excitement. But let's put it this way: neither one of us was able to hold it. That thing's like wood. It hit the ball hits and it just rockets off. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you got to hit the umbrella, like really tight part to keep it. But all the pros take a shot at it when they're down there for the Travelers, and it's a lot of fun. That was really cool. That was like a fun perk of the day of getting out there and doing that. So really cool. Like I said, a lot of fun, great experience. I just want to thank, TPC River Highlands, David Carrado, everybody who had us out there, and couldn't have been cooler with just saying, the track is all yours, guys. Go out there, have fun. Even like I said, flying the drone. We talk about, some people had mentioned in one of the previous episodes, they talked to us in the Facebook group and said, does anybody ever get mad at you guys shooting all this video when you're playing? And normally it's totally non-obtrusive. It's just us throwing a camera out there or having somebody with us, like a cameraman or something like that. But this time it was obtrusive because we would stop and fly the drone, do our flyovers, overhead shots. But the nice part is, we had the whole place to ourselves. There was maybe 3 or 4 other groups out there the whole day, and we would just sit and wait and just get everybody out there. So it was awesome. And again, couldn't have been cooler about letting us do that. So let's do a quick word from our sponsor, Mike, and then I want to roll that interview with David.
You may know the USGA mostly for their 14 annual championships and competitions. Their championships are widely looked upon as the ultimate test in golf, but there's a lot about the USGA that you may not know.
That's right. The USGA's innovation team has come up with a resource management app that helps course superintendents know how to better allocate their resources and help ensure a better experience for golfers. Plus, the USGA's handicap system helps level the playing field and makes the game more social.
Yeah, and along with the RNA in Scotland, the USGA is modernizing the game's rules and even asking us for feedback. They invite you to share it with them anytime online. So there's a lot to love about golf, and the greatness of the game brings out the best in all of us. Discover more at usga.org. Alrighty, we are here at TPC River Highlands up in Cromwell, Connecticut with General Manager David Carrado. David, thanks for having us out here today. We're on the 16th hole here. We got 2 more to go, but I got to tell you, the course is in phenomenal shape. We know the Travelers is coming into town this week. I want to talk to you about some of the renovations because I know you mentioned that a lot of the players on the tour really love what you guys did with the place. So tell us, what did you guys do around here?
Yeah, thank you. It's great to have you guys out. The biggest challenge of our renovation was making sure we didn't mess it up. Mm-hmm. The tour players love this golf course. It's an outstanding track. So our goal was to clean up some areas, improve the aesthetics and the playability of the golf course, and while keeping the integrity of the golf course throughout the renovation. So our primary focus was on bunkers. We removed about 40-plus bunkers from the golf course. We rebuilt, restyled, and repositioned virtually every bunker that remains. The flat-bottom bunker with a grass face to it provides a really clean look to the golf course. We did work on about 5 of the greens, providing some more hole locations throughout the property. Good one on front left on 15, which you'll see during the tournament this year. Puts that pin real close to that water's edge, but it's still a fair location for the tour players. A little bit of work on some tee boxes as well, but overall it was really, the design intent was to keep the integrity of the golf course while just giving it a fresh new look.
And for all that challenge, I mean, there's also some serious records been set here. 58, what else do we have?
Yeah, so Furyk's 58 last year, one for the record books. Unbelievable round of golf he had on Sunday. A couple years back when Streelman won, he started a birdie stretch that started on 12, made 7 straight to finish the tournament and win the tournament, another tour record. So, the Travelers Championship always leads to an exciting finish. The finishing 4 holes here are outstanding. The drivable par 4 on 15, the par 3 over the water on 16, 17, the par 4 going around the lake, and then certainly 18 always leads to some drama. So it's an outstanding finish and always exciting down the home stretch.
Yeah, without a doubt. And you have to get out and actually play it to appreciate what they've done out here, because it is a challenge, but terrific, and you can appreciate it so much more. But speaking of that, how can people get out here and play this course? How does that work?
Sure. So TPC River Highlands is a private club, and so we do offer memberships, both corporate memberships as well as individual memberships, a number of different categories that really fit all facets of life. The beauty of joining a TPC is not only do you join TPC River Highlands and have this as your home course with an outstanding practice facility and a great golf course, But when you join a TPC property, you have access to all the TPCs across the country. So not only are you joining one club, but you have access to over 30 TPCs across the country, as well as other partner properties. That's a huge advantage.
Yeah, membership at all the best courses in the country, Mike. It's hard to beat that, right?
Yeah.
And one more thing on top of it from a membership benefit standpoint, that renovation we did in 15 into 16 on the golf course, no assessment to the membership. Wow. And what's even more exciting coming down the line here, we are going to be building a brand new clubhouse starting in July of 2018, finishing it in time for the tournament in 2019. Again, we're going to demolish the current clubhouse and build a brand new clubhouse, all at no assessment to the membership. There's never an assessment here. We are owned and operated by the PGA Tour. Members come in and there's never any surprise hidden fees. It's just it's an outstanding place to join.
It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And already in the field, you have a star-studded lineup as usual: Bubba Watson, Jim Furyk. But I noticed that you got some bigger names coming in as well. Rory McIlroy. I see Justin Thomas coming in. So what kind of crowd do you expect?
Yeah, we think the crowds are going to be huge this year. Rory coming to play here for the first time. Jason Day has committed to come back and play. So we got 2 out of the top 3 players in the world. Obviously, Bubba, 2-time winner here. The list goes on. Returning champion Russell Knox, he was an outstanding guy to meet and to watch play last year with the winning putt on 18 and throwing the hat afterwards, letting that emotion out. It's going to be an exciting event, and we think the crowds are going to be huge this year. Usually we're in the top 5 for crowds on the PGA Tour every year. I have a feeling we'll be right there, if not in the top 1 or 2 this year.
And what I love, too, is it looks to be so crowd-friendly. I mean, look at the views, Mike. You could see 4 great holes just from where I'm standing without having to move it around.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was built for stadium golf, hillsides along tees and fairways and greens, so you can sit on that hillside and watch. That was also part of our renovation, is we tried to make sure we kept the course fan-friendly. We have an outstanding fan zone right down by the clubhouse in between the 1st and 18th hole. We did some work here behind 16 green, leveled off a hillside to make it a little more fan accessible. Again, we tried to make sure during that renovation we kept the fans in mind as well as the players.
That's really cool. Well, we want to thank you again for having us out. It's been an experience, once in a lifetime. Absolutely. Beautiful course ahead of the Travelers coming up. And again, thank you for everything. We really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks,
glad
David.
to have you guys out. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Okay, so that was great, and it was great to get David to give a chance to talk a little bit, speak a little bit more about the course, let us know about some of those changes that were made. I always like seeing that, even when you take these more iconic courses and they're always working to make them better, always working to improve them. Like David was saying about redoing so many of those sand traps, and it really showed. I mean, like I said, the sand played so true. I played better there than I've played out of the sand anywhere else. And again, like even about the membership, and the benefits and the perks that come along with that. And they are so darn committed to keeping that place just in tip top shape. I mean, Mike, how about that? They're knocking down the clubhouse and just rebuilding it to make it even better.
Right. That's great. It's phenomenal. And there's one thing I can leave, I guess, about TPC River Highlands. I'll be honest. I've been very fortunate to play a lot of really, really great courses. So was this the best course I've ever played? No. But I got to tell you, and I could say proudly, this was probably the nicest closing stretch golf course, like the last 4 or 5 holes, that I've ever played. I mean, they were great. I mean, I just loved all of the different aspects of the drivable par 4, and then that par 3 over the water right after, and then that tough, dog leg right with the water on the right, and then that uphill tough 18 coming home. So for me, I thought it was one of the greatest closing stretches in golf that I've ever played.
That makes it an interesting point about ranking it. I hadn't even have thought of that. And I will give you hands down, you play a lot more like awesome courses than I do, and you get to travel a little bit more than I do. But I would say if I was going to put it anywhere, I'd put it easily in my top 3 courses that I've ever played.
Wow.
As far as layout, fun, everything, soup to nuts, like the way, and even, okay, I'll give you, people knew we were there with the podcast and that we're going to be recording the show there, but I truthfully don't think that changed anything in the way we were treated. I think they treat, anybody the same way. And like from everything from like the starter, the rangers, the cart girls who are out there, the everybody, it was just like so personable, awesome experience all the way around. But as far as like when it comes down to fun and challenging, I'd say it's way up there for me. It's in the top 3. I mean, because it was a gorgeous course. The undulations, the stuff like that. It challenged you the whole way without beating you up. You know, we've played those other tracks that, they challenge you, but they also beat you up. And you feel like at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, I've had about enough, you know?
Yeah.
But this is like, it was challenging you, keeping your mind engaged while at the same time, like rewarding you for hitting good shots to the point where it's like, okay, this is the type of golf I want to be playing.
Right. I agree.
So really cool. So again, check out the video. You can see a little bit more about what went out there and how we, how we played it. A lot of the fun stuff, especially that umbrella shot, which is really cool. We got some nice flyover shots of it. We're going to try to do a lot more of that for you because like we always say here, I love doing the podcast, but there's certain things that lend itself a little bit better to actually seeing it. So that's where we're trying to give you guys a little bit more of that behind the scenes. Mike and I are going to be shooting a lot more video. We just invested in a bunch of new cameras. Like I said, the drone, we're going to be videoing as much as we can of the, when we go out there and do the 3 club challenge. So great way to find out that we're going to be all those things are going to be hitting YouTube, the same day the podcasts come out. So subscribe on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search Golficity, subscribe to the Golficity channel. And what we did is we put together an ongoing playlist for the vlog. So you're going to see everything that happens there. We also post the podcast episodes right to YouTube. I mean, it's just the audio, but if you ever want another way of listening to the show, there's a way to do it. So definitely check that out. Before we wrap things up, once again, I want to thank the USGA. Just this episode's coming off of the heels of yet another amazing championship, which was just held, and the USGA just outdoes themselves every year with that. But and we know you guys may know the USGA mostly for its championships. Like I said, we're just coming off of one, but there's little things you might not know, like the USGA is working to modernize golf's rules and make them easier to understand and apply. Plus, they're working with golf facilities to help reduce their dependency on critical resources, including a reliance on water. And the USGA's handicap system is used in more than 40 countries around the world. There's a lot to love about golf, and the greatness of the game brings out the best in all of us. Discover more at usga.org. Okay, Mike, anything else before we wrap it up today?
No, I look forward to this 3 club challenge coming up.
I can't wait. It's just going to be a blast. So like we were saying before, if you're in the Facebook group, let us know 3 club challenge. Maybe we'll do a hashtag 3 club challenge or something like that. Let us know what clubs you would pick and why, getting strategic with this, because don't forget, you only got 3. So that, and if you want, that takes the putter out of the bag. Unless you think that I got to have that putter, that limits you to 2 non-putter clubs. So think about it. Let us know what you think, and then follow along. We're going to be telling you guys how that goes, and we'll be talking about that in just 2 weeks. All right. We'll talk to everybody then.